Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new show, Living in Faith. I am your host, Giovanna Tortorone.
Y yo soy Pablo Sánchez, el co-host de ustedes. Muy buenas noches. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos.
Oh, I love this show is going to be in English and Spanish, so you guys are in for a treat. And today's topic is going to be about having faith, a little mustard seed of faith in order for us to achieve our goals. And Martin Luther King had a beautiful quote that said, "Take the first step in faith, and you don't need to see the whole staircase, just the first step. And when you take that first step, have an attitude of faith and keep going. Don't stop." Is that correct, Pablo?
That is completely correct. Now, what really helps a lot really ensuring that that you need to ask God what your purpose in this life is, and that has to be in agreement with Him. Now, then when we start doing that, you're living on purpose, but it's not just our purpose, but you're asking God what it is that you're supposed to be doing in this life. How are you supposed to be contributing to this? I asked God, and He told me that I'm supposed to be doing this. And when it happened, I said, "But God, I have never done a video. I don't even have a microphone or anything." Well, here I am. Now I have a YouTube channel. I have over 120 videos, over 23,000 views, and I'm loving it. You have to have that feeling when you're living on purpose. You get up in the middle of the night thinking about what it is that you're going to do, what it is that you're going to do, and God is the one that guides you. He tells you what to do, and it's completely amazing, completely amazing. I think that what we're going to learn right here is how when we live in faith, we need to trust in God, because it's not in our timing, but it's rather in His timing. He can tell you that when we talk about faith, we're also talking about living on purpose, but sometimes that purpose could be a wish that you have, something that you want to have, something that you want to accomplish. You want love in your life, then that's going to be it. If you need money in your life, that's going to be it. If you want promotion, whatever you want, you're going to ask God for that, and He's going to give it to you, but it's going to be at His time. And what I have learned is that sometimes when you ask, it's not going to be easy, because you have to go through your trials and tribulations to ensure that what you want is really in line with God's will, desire for you, what it is that you want to do. So it's a really great. I love this topic. This is all me.
Yeah, so let's also talk about the fact that, we have to believe and have no doubt, right? When there's faith, we are going on the side of there is absolutely no reason why you cannot have what you want. As long as you take action, all you need is yourself to believe. Faith is believing that you can do it because there's a greater connection to you that's going to help you to achieve whatever it is, whether it's good health, a new job, a new house, whatever it is, knowing that you're not alone and there's something greater that also wants the same for you.
Gigi, I have to thank you for bringing that up, because I just finished doing a show and talking about faith, and the initial step in faith is you have doubt. Can I really do? Just like what happened to me, but I don't even have a microphone. I have never done this. How could I do this? So you question yourself, and when in this faith, you have doubt as to can I really do this? And what I have found out is that when it's something really big, that's from God. That's from God,
It's
because
scary, right?
He wants everyone to go, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Is that really Pablo? I cannot believe this. Look at him. He's on TV right now. Can you believe that? It's completely amazing. So when you start off with doubt. And then I'll just throw in there the example of Abraham and Sarah. And then this goes along with everything, with the faith. It's about a promise that God has put in your mind. Now, when it comes to that promise, what we find is that if God has given you that promise, it has already been created. It is yours. It is yours to believe and to make it happen. Look at
Yeah.
what happened with Abraham and Sarah, right? Abraham is like 80 years old, and God says, that you're going to have a son, and your son's going to be the father of all nations. And now, mind you, at that time, Sarah was listening behind the wall. She's listening to this whole thing, and she's like actually laughing. I can't believe he's saying this because my womb is closed. There's no way I can have a child. I
Hmm.
I'm way past that. And so the thing is that so the promise, so it's a promise that God made. So whatever promise God has made for you, He will keep His promises. They're all over the Bible. He's the man that keeps all of His promises. So at the beginning, at the initial faith, there's doubt, right? How
And
could it
fear, right? And fear.
happen? So I like to think that because they doubted at the beginning, it took
Hmm.
20 years for baby Isaac to be born, right? 20 years later. Now, in those 20 years, there were a lot of things that took place. But now, when Sarah has baby Isaac in her arms, now that you have it, you believe that it happened. But how could it have happened? I had so much doubt that this would have happened. Now you have a grand faith. That grand faith is because you're holding that baby in your arms.
Hmm.
Now, I challenge anyone right here to consider the fact that all the times that God has been in your life, and all the things that you have accomplished, you did not accomplish it because of you, because of your title, or because you had the money. No, it's really God giving you showing favor in you. It is a promise in God. So you have an initial faith with doubt, then you move on to grand faith when you're holding the baby. Now comes perfect faith. Perfect
Love that. Perfect faith.
perfect faith is when you know that God has kept all of His promises. So what is
And
it
there's
to us?
no doubt.
Right? One more thing, God. Hey, I really like this. Ooh, wow.
There's
Whatever
no
I
doubt.
promise becomes reality, and that's exactly what happens in your life. And I'm saying this really does work. You can look at if you consider anything in your life now that you have wanted and God has given it to you. Think about when it happened. I will share my example with you. I had been divorced for a while now, and I was alone, and then one Saturday I made tons of money, tons of money, and I went home. When I went home, I just threw the money up in the air and I threw it out, and I began had a fight with God. I was yelling at Him, saying, what good is it to have all this money if I cannot share it with anyone? And I was crying and crying. So when you have that passion,
Hmm.
God listens to you, and whatever you want comes to pass. Before you know it, this lady comes to me in my dream, and she says that, Pablo, God says you need to chill. You need to chill, okay? He says the lady that God has waiting for you. She's kneeling down and actually asking for you, but she's not ready yet. And next thing you know,
What a story.
I met Martha and my wife, and then we're together 24/7. Uh,
And she's beautiful because I met her too.
this 2 weeks ago, I was here working on my own, and it was the day that I had to take care of my mom. And next thing you know, I come to the office. I'm not even here half an hour, and I start crying because I'm missing her. I'm like,
But that's true love. That's for sure, right? That's true love.
but
And remember
that's
what did I
myself
say?
asking God for love, and He responded to me, and He gave me what I wanted. Now, the lady that I have, I cannot live without her, and not even for half an hour. It's really crazy, but that's so. What how we started this whole thing is faith.
Faith, having
You have you start off with an initial doubt, but the thing is that once again, if there's something that you want in life, you ask God. Uh, and you first really need to ask God, what's my purpose in life?
yeah, we studied Napoleon Hill's work and his principles. Truly, faith is in the second chapter of the book, and it really talks about that if we don't put faith in the equation as part of our purpose, to drive our purpose, then we're going to feel lost, right? Because faith is truly what gets the engine going. And to meet your desire, you must have that inner knowing that it's yours no matter what.
No, no, I we'll have time to do other stories because I have so many stories to tell.
I'm sure you do.
But really, uh, when we're talking about faith, once again, uh, we first need to learn how to talk to God. So, in order to learn how to talk to God, what you end up doing, what you have to do, is you have to set a time, a day, when you know that I'm going to spend the next 15
These are
minutes.
some tips. You're giving some tips on how to connect and build a stronger faith.
Well, and that's what I do with my YouTube channel.
Hmm.
I spend 15 minutes going over the word of the day. I do it from Joel Osteen. I say,
Yeah.
I say, Joel Osteen's my mentor, and he doesn't even know it. So he's my secret mentor. So Joel Osteen is my secret mentor, and he doesn't even know it. And I'm inspired by him. Now, you really have to think about. Here I am, but I would say to you that this whole journey started over 20 years ago when I started following Pastor Joel Osteen. And then when I did ask God what my purpose was, and He told me that I was supposed to really just share the word with everyone. When it came to me, it came to me this way. On the first day, I had Dr. Joseph Murphy. He came to me with the power of I am, which was what is that? It was my first introduction, and it turns out that the power of I am is really when Moses meets God, and he tells him that you need to go tell the Pharaoh to let my people go. At that time, you have to realize that Moses doesn't even know that that he is an Israeli. He doesn't even know that. He doesn't know that he's a Hebrew. Because if you remember, well, long story short, back then, all I'll keep it simple. So we're going back. He meets God, and God says, "Go tell the Pharaoh, let my people go."
And he says, "Who's that? Who? If they ask me, who do I say told me?"
And he says, "Tell him that I am that
Yeah.
I am."
Yeah.
So here I am. I'm being encountered with this whole new words, and I'm listening to this thing, and I'm like, wow, that's my first day. My second day, I had Reverend Ike came to me. Reverend Ike, and Reverend Ike, he says to me, he's talking to me about the power of the subconscious mind.
Oh,
Ooh, I'll do it briefly. It's just the subconscious mind is the believer. Whatever you can impress upon the subconscious mind, basically, your mind goes to using visualization. You can get in there and you start feeling as if
auto
you
suggestion,
already
right?
achieved it. And next thing you know, you really have to go into an agreement. What he's saying right there is, you go. You, two ways you talk to your subconscious mind. One, via prayer, and the second way is when you go to sleep.
Yes.
That's when you're in contact with your subconscious mind. This would be a topic for another one, because what we need to do is we need to retrain our subconscious mind right now. My subconscious mind is a believer, so whatever my parents, my grandparents, my neighbors said, my subconscious mind believes that. So right now I'm retraining my subconscious mind to believe
Yes.
I want it consciously. Now I'm telling my subconscious mind, giving the orders what it is that I want.
That's right. Because we're running on autopilot. So whatever beliefs you currently do have in your subconscious mind right now, that's what you're working from. So in order to achieve what you want in life, we need to retrain the mind to
Com-
believe differently. I love that.
Completely. That's the 95% that Napoleon Hill talks about. And
And you know, if I just may, and you just a quote that says, or within the chapter, right? And I wrote it down because I didn't want to get it. I wanted to get it perfect, but faith is the element, the chemical that mixed with prayer gives you direct communication with infinite intelligence or God, right? So when we're connected that way and we apply faith, there's no way you can lose. This is the winning formula.
completely. And then, like I said, it's really getting to know our subconscious mind and retraining it, because we have all our old habits. Uh, right now, the subconscious mind knows what your parents or grandparents told you. You can't do that. You're not tall enough. You can't do that. You cannot speak English well enough. So you can't do this. You can't do that. So now you have set your own limitations. But God, He has not set limitations as to what you can
No
do.
patience.
All right? That's how come you have to ask God what it is that He wants you to do. And then
That's
once you align yourself with Him, you'll be amazed as to how, just like me, all I want to do is please Him right now. I want to please Him because I know what's waiting for me. Is this what we have right here is nothing. What we really want to do is really have to consider that 95% of the people are living without a purpose.
they're drifting. They're drifting.
So right now we want to wake them up and say, "Hi, hey, God has all these promises lined up for you. All you need to have is a little mustard seed of faith, just a little mustard seed of faith, and then it is yours. It is for you to take. It is for you to take. Just bring on that little bit mustard seed of faith." And I'm giving you examples. I'm giving an example of Sarah and Abraham. At their old age, how can you have a child? Next you know, here's a child. Oh, now
You
we
know,
have grand faith, huh? And now you realize all the things that he has done. Ooh, perfect faith. Hey, I like this. I can ask him anything. Don't mind you, just like Reverend Knight says, right? It says, you are the son of a king. Okay? Walk upright like a king. Demand things like a king. God doesn't want to see you in raggedy clothes or anything like that. He wants to see you in your three-piece suits. He wants to see you with your best. That's what God wants. He wants to see you happy. Now, what we're going to find out right here is that our mind is the battleground, is a
that's
real
right.
battleground, whereas you have the enemy and God fighting for your thoughts. And what you're going to find right here is that if you can master your thoughts, you can take control of your future.
That's
Okay?
right.
And you're going to see that our job is really to accept or reject our thoughts. Now, in the morning, you wake up and you decide that you want to have a happy day. Yes, you have to have that can-do attitude, and this is me. I shared a joke. I said when I was single and I was waiting for Martha, what happened is I got a little dog. I got a little dog, right? Because when the little dog would be right there, and then I would put I would get all dressed up, and then the little dog would look at me and say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" You have
I
to make
love it.
yourself laugh. You have to make you
That's
have to
right.
laugh. God wants you to laugh. The enemy wants to see you all sad. The enemy doesn't want you to get out from your bed. The enemy wants to remind you of all the things that you have done in the past and how wrong you were. Now, the enemy wants to make you believe that God has not forgiven you. But God has forgiven you for everything. Now, what we have to do in here when we talk about faith, we also have to forgive people that have hurt us as well. Okay? We
Absolutely.
have to ask for forgiveness and we have to do it back. When you start
Absolutely.
off that way, you're gonna feel a weight off your shoulders. And you're gonna say, why did I waste such a long time to do this?
Absolutely, because doing that would just give you that piece of that inner peace, right? That inner peace and that state of mind that you can open up the doors to infinite intelligence. The way you do it is by forgiving anything that's holding you back from really reaching your inner potential, right? You have so much of it, but it's being blocked by the experiences that hurt you. So you need to forgive yourself and others to open up the doors. This is where it all begins. We call it inner work. Having faith is something that is a state of mind, right?
Having faith is an inside job, ladies and gentlemen. Is an inside job. That's exactly what it is. It is getting to know your subconscious mind, training your subconscious mind,
That's right.
consciously training it, and working on yourself through affirmations, or suggestions, thinking positive about yourself. Once again,
Mhm.
the enemy was going to remind you of all the things that you did bad in the past.
That's
Okay,
right.
he doesn't want you to, and the more he reminds you is because he knows that you're this close to breaking loose from him, and you're going to be living on purpose with God's purpose. Completely amazing. This is
That's right.
that.
That's right. And we just want to really point out the fact that there is not a thing that you cannot do if you apply that mustard seed of faith, because it's you believing that it is yours, no matter what's going on outside, because it's the outside that brings in the doubt. The inside is what we need to build and work on to create the belief. But the outside wants to say, no, don't do it. Don't do something different, because if you do something different and you're getting out of your comfort zone, well, guess what? It's on the other side, when you do get out of your comfort zone, that you see the greatness and the gifts that everyone has. Everyone has gifts to bring to this world.
No, no. What you have is right here. Is this is not going to be easy. It's not an easy process because we're comfortable. We're comfortable
Yeah.
with our friends, with everything. And part of this whole process might call for you to leave some of your friends. Your friends might call you, "Hey, why aren't you coming out today?" Right?
Hmm.
And well, it's a whole process. It's a whole process that we're going to be going through. Um, uh, just
Yeah. So, if you can, just speak a little bit in Spanish, Pablo. Just give a little information of what we just said. I know you did your show on your end, but I think for the viewers, let's just give them a little bit of.
sí. Lo que yo estoy tratando de enseñarles a todos es que si nosotros podemos ser maestros de nuestros pensamientos, nosotros podemos lograr eh, cualquier cosa que nosotros queramos. Esa cosa, después de que lo logre, usted lo va a llamar un milagro, pero es simplemente algo que usted lo puede hacer. Pero primero tenemos que aprender a hablar con Dios. Y para poder hablar con Dios tenemos que entrarnos y leer la palabra de Dios diariamente. Siquiera unos 15 minutos como lo hacemos nosotros. Cuando usted hace eso, está comprendiendo el lenguaje de Dios. Y eso le va... Y lo que usted hace todos los días es lo que usted va a hacer. Lo que usted piensa todos los días es lo que usted va a hacer. Yo estoy aquí como un buen ejemplo, porque yo he estado pensando en el devocional diario del pastor Joel Osteen, y ahora yo lo estoy haciendo más fluyente y está así. ¿Por qué? Porque lo estoy repasando. Lo estoy repasando. Aquí lo que sucede es, cuando uno lo practica, y ya se hace más fácil. En este momento, nosotros estamos haciendo las cosas fáciles, pero esas cosas fáciles no son de Dios.
Beautiful. Is that a good ending?
Yes, yes.
But for more information, they can also go to your YouTube channels to really listen to you.
Sí,
Give,
el canal mío es Viviendo en Fe. Como digo, ahí ya tengo más de 120 videos y todo es para motivarles a ustedes a vivir en fe,
so
a vivir
beautiful.
en fe. Eso es lo que es. Y también saber que nuestra mente es un campo de batalla y nosotros tenemos el control solamente de nuestros pensamientos, no el de su esposa, de su novio, nadie, solamente nuestros pensamientos. Y si llegamos a ser maestros de nuestros pensamientos, eso es todo. De ahí somos, podemos lograr nuestros deseos. Pero sí, siempre tenemos que tener esos deseos alineados con lo que Papito Dios quiere para nosotros.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I felt that. Well, we're going to take this to a landing. Everyone, thank you for joining us today on Living in Faith. And any quick final words, Pablo? We're going to see them next week, every Tuesday on 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Sí, todos los de aquí, yo les mencioné esto a ustedes como hace 3 semanas y dije que eso iba a pasar. Y estamos aquí, vamos a estar aquí todos los martes a las 7 de la noche.
All right.
Nos acompañan todos los martes. Comparten estos mensajes con el mundo entero, ¿ok? Sería algo muy lindo para todos. Gracias.
Thank you, everyone, for watching Living in Faith. I am your host, Giovanna Charderone. Until next time. And
Yo soy Pablo Sánchez, el co-host de ustedes, ¿ok? Muchísimo gusto. Gracias por compartir Viviendo en Fe.
thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Till next
Chao.
week.